The facelifted Seat-Ateca. Let's play a game. Can you find all the differences with the old model?
Ateca had her facelift, and in Slovenia it was presented together with the Formentor. Now, I cannot resist to compare them one with each other. Victor already tested Ateca before, but it was with a diesel engine and a four-wheel drive, so we can easily say it was a serious SUV. By that I mean it was great when you took it offside the road and in the snow. Well, this one is a petrol engine 1.5 liter with 150 horsepower, which was the same as in the Formentor. Now, let's go play a little with the numbers. If I take the diesel engine, consumption is about 6.5 liters. Now, if we take the petrol engine, that one will require you about 8.5 liters, plus extra liter if you go off the road, and plus another 2 to 4 liters if you're driving in the city. Now, I'm not very good at mathematics, but somehow this ecological equation does not fit too well.
Yes, diesels have been touted by the governments as the answer to the consumption and CO2 emissions, but now when everyone drives one, they had become like witches in need of burning. But, like Tina has said, what about the high fuel consumption of gas engines, especially with heavier cars? I always liked the Ateca, and the facelifted version is no different. In fact, I have to look more closely to see the actual changes they made. Did you see that? Physical buttons! It seems now if you'll want more practicality and usefulness, buy a less equipped, cheaper car. And the Ateca keeps Audi's really lovely instruments as well. The interior is great just because it doesn't try to push silly novelty items like capacitive buttons or shiny plastics on you. And look, buttons for volume and the menus, and you still have the touchscreen. Magic! The infotainment screen includes a lot of information, selections, menus, and submenus. For the actual driving, you don't need to fiddle with any of this, but it's nice to have for those of us who like to customize things to a certain extent. And another look at the wonderful, beautiful, practical, and in all aspects superior to capacitive physical buttons. Ateca thus stays a likable, practical car, which you can also equip with more comfort and technology if you want. Like I have said before, this model doesn't really excel in anything, but it's not bad in any way. It's nice, fairly comfortable, and will get the approval of many. And not just because it actually has controls humans can use normally, but also because of its reasonable price. If you really need all-wheel drive, that's also available. However, now that the Cupra Formentor is available, which is almost the same size but gives you a much more prestigious feel inside and is nicer to drive, the Ateca has its work cut out. But back to the car. I'll always like it because it's uncomplicated, has some nice simple shapes, and won't destroy your wallet, especially if you go for a diesel engine. The base Ateca starts at 20,500 euros. For the top-of-the-line version with the most powerful diesel engine, all-wheel drive and almost all the optional extras, you'll be paying 49,000 euros.
This kind of Ateca will cost you about 30,000 euros in Slovenia, and for this kind of money you get quite well equipped car. Now, for example, it has the air condition, it has the satellite navigation, it has the automatic DSG gearbox, it doesn't have the rear view camera, which you have to buy extra, but it has the heating of a steering wheel and the seats. And I have to say that in this cold April, that was a really good thing for us. Now, many competition will charge you more for this kind of equipment, or they won't be even able to sell it to you. Now, again, I am thinking of a Formentor. So for 5,000 more, beside this equipment, you get bigger alloys, you get rear view camera, you get car, which, in my opinion, looks better. But don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with the Ateca. It has many advantages in front of the competition, whether from Germany, from France, from Japan, but the Volkswagen Group has a diamond inside of them, calling the Formentor. And taking one or the other, I suggest you drive both of them and then decide which one suits you better.